Yo, what is going on, guys? It's C-Rev. Welcome to another MLB The Show 20 card review. In this one, I'm going to be going over 87 overall prospects Brendan McKay from the Tampa Bay Rays. You can obtain this card through prospect packs or from the marketplace. He's currently selling for around 10,000 stubs. So, if you didn't know about Brendan McKay, two-way athlete, I guess you could say. Absolutely rakes at the plate as well. You can see his hitting stats here. Pretty much like a little worse than Ohtani, but still really good hitting stats for a pitcher, obviously. So that's the main draw with this card, if you were wondering. I was concerned about how good of a pitcher he'd be, since he doesn't look like that great of a pitcher on paper. But in my experience using him, I think for what he is, he's actually pretty good. I was kind of surprised with how effective he was on the mound, because I was expecting him to be not good at all as a pitcher. But really what sets this card apart is the cutter has 6 miles per hour speed differential from the four-seamer. So going back to last year, some of my favorite pitchers to use were pitchers that had cutters that were way slower than their fastballs. 6 mile per hour difference between cutter and four-seamer is actually a big deal. It's very noticeable. I'm going to actually try to use this guy on Legend to see how bad it'll mess people up, because I was just using him on Hall of Fame. But overall, because of the speed differential, I was able to throw the cutter a lot, and his cutter is his best pitch by far. It moves a ton, and it's surprisingly one of those cutters that can actually get right-handed hitters out because it's so much slower than his four-seamer. Someone like Mariano Rivera kind of struggles to get opposite-handed batters out as it stands right now, because there isn't a whole lot of speed differential, and if you run a cutter in on someone, they don't really break their bat in the same way that they would in real life. It's just way too easy to swing early and pull it foul every time. So this card actually pitched really well because of his cutter. I like his cutter a lot. Like I said, a ton of movement, great speed differential. His curveball is also a really good pitch as well, ton of movement there. And his changeup was just okay. Not a lot of movement on his changeup, but it is a nice change of speeds. You always love to just have a changeup available to you. It really helps getting opposite-handed hitters out especially. But honestly, I was expecting this card to be trash. As a pitcher, I'm going to be real with you guys, and he was actually pretty good. On Hall of Fame, he had a really decent ERA, especially considering it's Hall of Fame, and it's a little easier to hit than Legend, obviously. Also, one thing I want to point out about this card, which makes his draw especially valuable and is something to look out for moving forward into the season, is he has the quirk that's called Unbreakable. And what this is he avoids injuries, and the key word here is recovers energy at a high rate. So this guy, after pitching, actually recovers his pitcher energy faster than a normal pitcher would, and to the point where it was kind of insane, and I'm not sure if it's supposed to be that way. Alright, so let me describe this to you guys. So he threw 7 innings for me and was almost in the yellow when I took him out. He took 1 game off and he was almost full energy. I'm not messing with you guys. He probably recovered like 40 to 50% of his energy after 1 game of not pitching. So I don't know if that quirk's overtuned or if it's supposed to be designed that way, but holy cow, look out if a high-end caliber pitcher has that quirk later in the year, because wow, that adds a ton of value to this card in my opinion. He's really probably the best long reliever, at least in the game right now, because not only can he pitch all the time, but he can hit for himself. So if you really need a long reliever, you don't have to take him out. He can still hit. So for the niche this card fills, he's a pretty unique card, and I actually like him a lot. I really like this card. I think he's a very utility heavy card that could definitely see some areas of play that could help you out, especially in the environment of trying to climb in ranked seasons. Sometimes all your pitchers are just gassed, and throwing a guy in there like this could be really good. And I'm also going to mess around with using this card alongside an opener for one of the strategies I've been doing that I'm going to make a video on as well. But yeah, I really like this card for what he is, man. Better pitcher than I was expecting. Obviously the hitting was good for what it is, and the quirk just puts him over the top, dude. This guy will literally pitch like every other game for you if you don't like throw him into the red energy. So kind of crazy. Kind of talked a lot in this review, but yeah, I really like Brendan McKay. I don't know if actual pitchers will have that quirk. I'm wondering if he only has that quirk because he's kind of a two-way player. I've noticed that quirk on a lot of position players, but almost no pitchers. So I wonder if this is just a very weird card where it kind of was the perfect storm for him to just pitch all the time. But remains to be seen. We'll see in the future moving forward. As always, we'll rate the card how he rates in the meta, and we'll rate him compared to how much he costs. How he rates in the meta, I'm kind of inclined to give him a B+, maybe even an A-. There's just no other card like this in the game. It's a very, very unique card. Very unique situation that I haven't seen in any of my years playing MLB The Show. Definitely just a valuable card just to have. I don't know. I think he's really good for what he is. And for the price, I'll give him an A, because $10K for a two-way pitcher that can pitch all the time, great long reliever, blah, blah, blah. I think it's a really good deal. So hope you guys enjoyed this card review. Drop a comment down below if you want me to review anyone in particular. Nate Pearson and Casey Mize are coming down the pipeline for y'all, so stay tuned for that. Enjoy these clips. I love all you guys, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.
In now, Gary Sanchez. Rizzo watch a first pitch curveball drop in there for strike one. Opportunity for him here to pick up that runner from second with 2 away. It's a high fly ball headed for the left field corner. If it stays fair, it's gone. And this will wind up being nothing more than a long foul ball, and it'll hold the count at 0-2. Fouled off. The 0-2. And this one run. Here's the 0-1. Hit hard towards the hole. And the pitcher's got himself a base hit. Acuna digs in now. As he'll go after the first pitch to him and comes up empty. It's strike one. He looks like he's toying with him here. It's 0-2. Now here it comes. And a check swing. Did he go around? No, says the first base umpire. It's ball one. Swing and a miss on the changeup, and there are 2 gone. So now it'll be the 4-hole hitter, Matt Olson, looking to get on base and keep this first inning alive. Fouled away. And that's inside off the plate with the fastball. It's 1-1. Down low, 2 balls and a strike.
Looks like that bomb earlier in the inning kind of put this pitcher on the defensive. Not being very aggressive right now.
Let's see what they throw Olson on a 3-1 count. 3-2. Hit hard to the right side. Foul. Once again a 3-2. Swing and a miss from Carlson. He'll go to work trying to do something about breaking this 1-1 tie. First pitch hack in here, and that's the first strike.
I'm sure the boys are going to blow him up in the clubhouse for that ugly swing right here. But he has a chance to regroup. Take a deep breath, take a step out of the box, and know you got a few to play.
And there's your first out of the inning. So 1 away here with the bases empty, and that'll bring in one of the best on-base percentage players in the game, Carlos Santana. Now a big fastball, and he's well behind it with the swing. Popped straight up. McKay shading to his right. 2 down. Settling in now, Sean Murphy. Try to make something happen with 2 gone in the bottom of the second. Late that time for a strike. Murphy is, of course, a highly regarded catcher, and it's really fun to watch him control the game behind the plate, not only with his glove work. Well, the first baseman is